Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So this morning, I want to talk about this little dip with Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin fell below 23,000, and all of a sudden this happened. And you may be wondering why. And I do believe I have found the cause. And it's due to none other than Gary Gensler and the SEC. So yesterday, it was reported that SEC is already investigating the crypto exchange Kraken, which is they are a fairly large exchange in the US. And this is over security violations. Now, when I first read this, I'm like, okay, this by itself would not prompt the market to dip, right? But this is concerning because what does this mean? Is the SEC to go after Binance or go after Coinbase, right? Or have they already? Are they going to go after Gemini, which they do have a lawsuit against right now? So we don't know, but it's looking like the SEC is just kind of trying to just disrupt things. Right? It's fairly obvious that Gary Gensler wants more control, and he does not like the way crypto is evolving right now. He does not like a free market. So this is what's happening. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen with Kraken. It's rumored that they will just settle, right? And maybe they have to delist a lot of the coins on their platform, right? But I think this is what spooked the market a little bit. And not this, but this. Brian Armstrong, who is the CEO of Coinbase, uh, he leaked this out. He's saying, I'm hearing rumors that the SEC would like to get rid of crypto staking in the US. Okay. This this would be this will be disastrous. Okay. And I guess we have to, if true, we have to get clarity on what kind of staking, right? Staking within liquidity protocols like liquidity pools, within Uniswap or Aave or Compound. Okay, that's bad enough because that would set DEXs back quite a lot. But what's worse is if the SEC doesn't even allow anyone to stake in their chain natively to help power it. For example, Ethereum or Cardano or Solana or Polygon, right? If that is true and they want to get rid of staking altogether, well, that would be absolutely disastrous, right? The good thing is these projects will continue to survive. Obviously, they're not just within the US, they are worldwide, and there's many validators, nodes, and block producers around the world, right? But still, this will really cripple the US. Cripple, oh, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. Cripple innovation. There's no dApps, no crypto project that want to be in the US anymore, right? It's going to cripple our freedom. People will have less choices. And who knows where this goes, right? What else the SEC is going to do. So I'm hoping this is not the case. I'm hoping that really this is just a rumor. But last time Brian Armstrong tweeted out about a rumor, it actually turned out to be true. So let's hope this is not the case. But we do have one other piece of news about the SEC that could help this situation, right? Everything that they're doing, Gary Gensler throwing his weight around, throwing his power around, because right now no one's challenging him, right? But guess what? Maybe Ripple will. So it's been leaked by Fox Business journalists that there is going to be some kind of announcement today. There's a closed meeting, and it does seem like there may be a conclusion to this lawsuit against Ripple. And if Ripple somehow pulls a rabbit out of his hat and wins this case, this will be enormous, enormous. I can't say how enormous this is if true, or if it happens, I should say, because not only will XRP skyrocket to the moon, but the entire industry, because finally we have someone that fought back and won against Gary, right? And after this, the SEC can't be doing all the things that they have done or plan on doing because they think they can just declare everything as security. They cannot. Now, the SEC, of course, did lose against the project library recently. They lost and won because they basically bankrupted library. But one good thing that came out of that case is that the judge ruled that just because tokens are being sold in the secondary market, like on dexes and centralized exchanges, does not make them a security automatically, right? So they're starting little pushback, but this will definitely be huge if it happens, right? And this supposedly is going to come out today. I saw this. This was interesting. The Federal Reserve actually published a 31-page Bitcoin research paper. Okay, 31-page, quite a lot. But to summarize, and I'm glad it's summarized here, Bitcoin shares most of its features of a store value, such as gold, yeah, and concludes Bitcoin is unresponsive to both monetary and macroeconomic news. Interesting. Federal Reserve basically declared that Bitcoin is the new gold, is a digital gold that basically is decoupled or uncoupled away from monetary policy, which yes, that's why Bitcoin was created. And yes, the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury and all these banks and governments around the world can't affect Bitcoin. And macroeconomic news. That I think eventually will happen, but not right now, because right now when investors panic, they sell off everything. So we have seen that before, right? But in the future, it will definitely be unresponsive to macroeconomic news or conditions. And yeah, so the Federal Bank of New York even recognizes endorsing Bitcoin for what it is, right? So that's that's pretty positive. But of course, we have a lot of charts like this that show that yes, even though we're heading up, we haven't exploded yet. This is kind of precursor of what's to come, especially if you compare what happened in 2019 when we were coming up from bottom, right? It looks very, very similar. This is considered this is what's called a bullish divergence. So just wait for it. Just wait for it. Of course, a number of people waiting for it have been growing. The non-zero addresses, meaning addresses that have some kind, a little bit of sats in there, right, has reached an all-time high of 43,800,000. So there are definitely a lot of people waiting for better days and waiting for Bitcoin to go upwards. And right now, they're staying strong and holding, and that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Here also, balance on exchanges. It's just dropping like mad right now. Okay, reached a 4-year low. So there's only 2.2 million Bitcoin on the exchanges, right? And it's going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping as more and more people get into Bitcoin and learn how to take control of their own crypto and self-custody their own crypto. Last two things I did see this. Cardano aims to improve with their next upgrade, Plutus. They're going to try to really get interoperability and cross-chain development going, right? And this will definitely help their DeFi. They're kind of weak in DeFi right now. DeFi, overall total liquidity locked in is only about 100 million, which is trailing the other chains. But still, they're growing. They got DJ going, right? And cross-chain interoperability will definitely help them bring more liquidity and more dApps to them. And then lastly, speaking of liquidity, MakerDAO, who is the maker of the DAI token, they're actually forking Aave and coming out with their own liquidity provider service. Obviously, because they want to promote DAI more, right? So kind of interesting that they're doing that. Okay, I just want to share that. Regardless of what SEC does, what Gary does, Bitcoin or crypto will continue to move forward. So stay strong, my friends. And I'll see you guys tonight at my usual time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.